Kang is out. Who's going to step up as our next big bad in the MCU? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess wave. You do it too, out of respect, and of course, there's a Coco dog.
Coco made it. Princess is all leopard printed out. All right. Down to play. All right, guys. Today is Monday, and we have an exciting drop list for you this week. So, a lot of the books on the list today had to do with Kang the Conqueror, and I know his time in the MCU is a little unsure right now, so we thought we'd give you a sweet drop list and also talk about who could be the next big bad villain in the MCU. I thought that would be really exciting, right?
Yeah.
And if you're asking yourself right now, what is the drop list? And you're like, what did I just stumble upon? In case this is your first time. And if it is your first time, hit the like button right now and subscribe. If you already watched this before, also hit the like button because it'll help out Princess.
Yes.
Right? She loves it when you do that. But the drop list is the ComicGains crew gets together every week. We scour the internet for hot trending lists, any kind of list they're talking about comics 1 year ago. And we figure out the reason why, and we fast forward to today and check the pricing between last year and today. And they have to be lower in price. And we compile them in a list of 5. Biggest drop to least drop. And the Slab Master will tell you what
the book you need to get off this list that will give you the most gains.
and what book you might need to forget.
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah. Zach gets brutally honest if he doesn't like a book, which I think is exciting.
Yeah.
Also exciting is trying out a new drink with you every week as well. This might be a brand new one to the show.
Yeah, it is a new one to the show. It's a Jumex, Fruta di... that's in another language. Peach nectar from concentrate. And you know what I say about this? I could drink a peach for hours.
Is the J silent? Is it like Umex?
Oh, Umex.
Umex? Like
I thought I was
Umex, right? Like Umex?
When I first saw this, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely not going to sound like that. You know what I'm saying. All right, let's get into this. All right.
I think that drink's been around for a long, long time.
Yeah, it actually does taste like a freshly squeezed peach was put into this can. I like it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what else tastes like a freshly squeezed peach?
Hanging out with the princess and whatnot.
Yeah, Princess will be on this weekend, guys, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Keep an eye out. The Gains crew, Adam and Zach, will be back from time to time. You just gotta bookmark our shows ahead of time so you know we won't be on every week as much. We're just getting too busy. We're just getting crazy. But Princess will be around for you guys. We'll be in the background if you want to hang out with us as well. All right, we've been talking a lot. Let's get into the list. The top 5 biggest drops of the week. We have number 5, Thor 165, 1969, an oldie but a goodie. Jack Kirby, Stan Lee. I love this cover. Absolutely love this cover. I like the way they used to draw him. Even though he's like really plain, I like the way him looked. And speaking of him, this is the first full appearance of him, later known as Adam Warlock. Obviously, this was hot last year. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out. Will Poulter did an excellent job portraying Adam Warlock, and I thought he was really cool. We've talked about this before on the show. Other of these keys have been on the drop list. I think this might be the first time we've done Thor 165, but there's a lot of keys. There's a lot of things that go on with him, like when he shows up. He comes out, the Conclave builds him, and he has like this little cocoon that he gets born in, and every time he pops out, somebody kicks his butt, and he goes back into that cocoon, and then he pops back out again. And so he has a lot of keys that go along with it. Zach does a really good job of popping in and out. Pop, pop, pop. So if you're looking at, this is the creme de la creme key, though. This is the ultimate Adam Warlock key, is the 165. Other notable ones, Fantastic Four 67 is a really good one, not as nearly as expensive. And the Marvel Premiere #1 is also a good book as well. That's when you get the real Adam Warlock. They change him to Adam, named after me, of course. No, I don't think that's that case. But really cool character. I still think there's a lot to spec on. You guys will have to make the decision whether or not you want to see a Guardians of the Galaxy 4. I don't know if I'd want to see that. not that I don't want to see those characters again, but I'd almost want to see them in a brand new movie. Maybe like Infinity Watch or something like that. And it doesn't even have to be the same. Obviously, they can use that title and just go like completely different route. Right. But it'd be cool to see those, at least some of those characters back together like in a different form. I mean, Drax is going to be done, so you won't see him. But you could see, Moondragon or Pip the Troll or even Thanos. I don't think what's-his-face is against doing Thanos again because all he has to do is voice the actor. Mm-hmm. I think they do the live action capture, though, I believe. So that's a little bit of extra work. Yeah. More importantly, though, is it a good time to pick up 165?
Well, it was a big him a year ago. For a CGC 9.0, that didn't make sense. 9.0 was $1,300, right? Now, it's just an average Joe, not a him. It's just a Joe at $900 for a 9.0. Range 796 to 1,517. Average sales 1,120. It's a 31% drop. A 9.8 has sold for $25,000. And it makes sense once I lead into these numbers. The amount of graded for this book is 3,637 total graded. Only 5 are universal at CGC 9.8. And there's only 154 graded of the 9.0.
Oh, wow.
So it's about less than 1% of total graded for the 9.8 and some other number I'm not going to say for the other one. Probably like 5%. So for this book, it's a great key, fantastic. I would like to get this book raw and then maybe shoot for a higher grade. But still like a 9.0, $900. Cool first full appearance, I should say. But you could probably wait on this a little bit and you might be able to get it for a little cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely still expensive, but 900 is not bad for a 9.0. I would have thought way over 1,000 for that.
This is one of those books I would say that it would look just as, in my opinion, I love everything slabbed, but for some reason this book, I have a feeling, it feels to me like you could have this raw and it would save you some money, and if you choose later on to get it slabbed, then you save even more money.
Yeah, because it probably still even look good as a 5.0. Yeah,
exactly.
Black cover. All right, guys. Number 4 on the list. We got Avengers 129, 1974. Ron Wilson, Steve Englehart, and this is a cool book. This is first appearance of Imhotep. Remember that movie, The Mummy? Imhotep? Yeah. Missed that movie. Anyway. In the comic universe, Imhotep is a vampire. So kind of similar, like he's a mummy in the thing where he like sucks the life force out of people in the mummy, but in the comics he's a vampire sucking the life force out of people. Okay. He did come from ancient Egypt, and he's a previously used character. When he was a human in comic books, his first appearance was in Daring Mystery Comics number 6. So he previously appeared in that. And this is kind of like an interesting story. This book has basically got hot last year because Kang's on the cover, and there's a possibility they could be using this storyline for a future Kang story. So they call this the beginning of the Celestial Madonna. And the Celestial Madonna is a character who, if gives birth to something, will be like the ultimate being or whatever. So Kang's like, if I find the Celestial Madonna and make a baby with her, then we'll have the ultimate human being. And he finds out that the Celestial Madonna is one of the Avengers, so he like goes to hunt them down and kidnap them so he can make a baby with one of them, hopefully consensual. But it's a cool story. It turns out that Swordsman actually has to be like the hero of the story to save everybody. I always feel weird saying Swordsman, like it doesn't sound right. I feel like it should be something else. But so interesting story. This is also, in this storyline, the Avengers have to team up with Immortus and Rama-Tut to defeat Kang. And in this story as well, Kang doesn't know that he will become Immortus until this story. So like when he's fighting the Avengers and he runs into Immortus, this is when he's like, this is who I'm eventually gonna become, and this guy is a wuss. Like he's like, I'm better than this guy, and I'm gonna become this guy. So it's really weird. He gets really upset that that's like who he'll become. So really good spec. Something like this could take place. We've already seen in the Loki and stuff like that where the Mortis and and other Kang were already using each other for certain things and sacrificing each other. So it is a good chance. But, obviously with all the crazy stuff going on with Jonathan Majors and Kang, this all might be out the window. We'll try to get into that at the end of the show. Maybe point out who could be next, or maybe we just stick with Kang. I don't know. More importantly, though, 129, is it time? It's not the other wrong for 129, right?
No. The 129 had a lot of potential. Yeah, it's not no Punisher. For CGC 9.8, it's $1,325.
Whoa.
Now, we found out it's not the 129 we want. That's $846. Range $775 to $1,325. Average sales $982. It's a 36% drop. Not too bad. There's 313 total agreed. Only 27 of them are 9.8s. Universal. That's about 9%. This book confuses me. It's a great cover, but it confuses me. I don't know how big this book could potentially be. My gut is telling me that it's going to be like one of those books that you would want to flip, and then maybe pick it up later, for a cheaper price when it drops in price, and then you'll have the book, and then you also have some cash in your pocket. That's my feeling about it.
I concur.
But that book's a little confusing.
Princess agrees.
Yes.
You're like, that's exactly what. Yeah, definitely those storyline books. Like it's hard for that to be a key if it's based on what movie or TV shows coming out for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. All right, number 3 on the list. We're halfway there, guys. Avengers 8. We're talking Kang again. 1964. Jack Kirby, Stan Lee gracing the list twice in one day. First appearance of Kang, the OG, the original. I think it's interesting. He's obviously the first one to show up of all his other variants of himself, considering he's not the oldest the oldest version of himself. But Kang is the first one, and this is the most expensive version of Kang of the variants. So you want to get this one over the other ones. What are some of the other variants of Kang? These are just the ones I remembered: Immortus, Ramatut, Scarlet Centurion, Iron Lad, and more recently, Victor Timely.
Oh, Victor Timely.
Good old Victor. It's actually like, what's the next one you're going to say?
Victor
Timely. But it's one of those things again, touchback, Jonathan Majors, all the issues going on and getting let go from Marvel. And yeah, what are they going to do with the character, with Kang? They have not said. It's been kind of like, they announced all those movies that are going to come out basically based around this character. And of the things he was in, some of them were really good. I think Loki season 1 and season 2 were excellent. Really, really good. And the character was done really, really well. Ant-Man Quantumania, maybe not so much, I still think the acting and the story was good in that to an extent. Just the way they executed it with way too much green screen was I didn't notice it till later, but I'm like, damn, the green screen killed this. It was they didn't film anywhere on location in that. It was in the first 2 Ant-Mans, they were huffing it in the street half the time, or in a coffee bar or something. They were actually there. And this one, every single shot was green screen for some reason. It was weird. And not enough ants. Need more ants in Ant-Man. But if you're asking yourself, if you want to get some more knowledge on Kang, there was a recent book that came out, Kang the Conqueror. It was a 6-issue miniseries, came out in 2021. I recommend that. Pick it up and read it. It'll explain a lot of kind of how Kang works and how he's kind of stuck in this time loop where he always runs into himself as a little kid and kind of starts it over again. He goes and finds himself as a kid, and he's whatever you do, don't fall in love because it's going to screw your life up. And he's don't worry, I won't do it. And he always does. He always goes and falls in love with Ramona Renslayer. So, yeah. Good story. Anyway, more importantly, this is a big key as well. It's two really huge keys on this list.
Right, yes.
Is it Kang time?
All right. He was conquering, slaying, and obliterating a year ago. For a CGC 9.4 was $8,877. Now, he barely can conquer himself at $5,520 for a 9.4. Range 5,520 to 8,877. Average sales 7,299. It's 38% drop. A 9.8 of this book has sold for $54K.
Whoa.
That's expensive.
Whoa.
Expensive. There's 3,451 total graded. 4 of them are 9.8s. So you're not going to find a 9.8 very often.
That guy
so
let go of it. Or girl.
Less than 1% chance. Anyways, and there's 32 9.4s. So you have a little bit more of a chance of finding a 9.4. I mean, this book is a classic key, a classic Avengers key.
Single digit.
It's made lower down in price for a little while, but it's going to go back up because it's one of the big bads of the Marvel Universe, and especially one of the most influential teams in the Marvel Universe. So I don't see this book staying down for too long. So if you're going to get this book, maybe you want to get it during the whole
yeah,
King is falling out of favor in reality. But he's not going to fall out of favor with comic book collectors.
No. Yeah,
as actual comic and everything. So if you were to get this book right now, I'm not saying it's probably the best time. Maybe wait until some more, things happen. But I would say if you're a Marvel fan, you probably need one of these Avengers 8s. He's one of the big bads. Yeah, you should probably get one.
Would you rather have in a 9.8?
And what?
The 165, Thor 165 or Avengers 8 in a 9.8?
Avengers 8.
You'd rather have that one in a 9.8?
Yeah.
Over first him?
Yes. Absolutely.
It's double the price.
Yeah, it's double the price. Double the fun. Anyways, yeah, that's what I think about that.
Cool. All right. Number 2 on the list. We've only been talking about older books. Let's talk about a newer book. This one's right up Princess's alley. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, number 1. We got a repeat offender on the list. 2006, Amy Reeder, Brendan Montclair. And this is the first appearance of Lunella Lafayette, the Moon Girl. I like that name. They picked a really good name for her. They got 2 L letters, and I don't know, Lafayette just sounds cool. Sounds like a good name. Yeah. If you guys are wondering as well, first appearance of Devil Dinosaur is Devil Dinosaur number 1 in 1978. So if you're looking to get the set, that's how it goes. Well, Disney Plus did a cartoon show last year, and this book was going hype for a while because a lot of people were expecting this cartoon show. And I will eat my words because we talked a lot of trash about this last time it was on the list, and some fans of the show let us know that Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur did win some Emmys for being best cartoon for children, and maybe we need to give it a second chance. I think one of the downsides to this show was I think more people expected it to be part of like Marvel continuity, where like these characters were going to matter not just in the cartoon, but in the real world as well. And I think that maybe didn't have the case. That's why it doesn't have as much weight for the book price anymore. But if you guys didn't know, the second season just came out February 2nd. They just released the second season. All the episodes are on Disney Plus. So if you're pumped for this show, check it out. The second season's on there. I don't know if they renewed the third season, but obviously people are digging it. I will say this though. We watch Disney Plus a lot in this household, and they have a nice feature screen where they're like, these are the books, or these are the shows that are coming out, like you should check them out. They didn't feature that show at all. So I don't know why they didn't do that. What were they thinking? Interesting. This is a book I really want to add to my list. I don't have one. I know Princess has a couple of versions of it. I like the character a lot. She is an Inhuman, which is a little different at this time. In 2016, they weren't adding more mutants. They were adding more Inhumans in case they needed to go that route. I would love to see her in some live action form. She's like the super genius little girl with an awesome dinosaur and a heart of gold. Fun character, a lot of cool villains. I'll give you the Bolo report on this one because there is a bunch to look out for. The Trevor Von Eden 1 in 25, which I think Princess has that book, is worth a little bit more. And the second print blue variant is worth more than the first print, which is really cool. And if you're a fan like Zach is, there's only 10 9/8 on the census of that modern book, which makes it worth quite a bit. And more recently at New York City Comic Con in 2022, they did a special giveaway at the panel, which actually has the cover more drawn like she is on the cartoon. So that book's worth quite a bit. They gave that book away only at the New York City Comic Con. That book's worth quite a bit. And as Princess will tell you as well, there's a hip-hop version done by Jeffrey Verge. I hope I said that right. Which is worth more than the number 1 as well. I think it's worth more than the actual. So a lot of good ones to look out for in this one. More importantly, is it a good, because I might, after this episode's over, I might go pick this book up. Right?
Yep.
Zach's got to let me know, though.
Well, it was Devil with a Cross a year ago. I don't know what that means. For CGC 9.8 was $204. Now, Moon Girl's just mooning everybody at $125 for 9.8.
What?
Range?
I might get that.
$62 to $225.
I wish I was that guy.
Average sell, me too. Average sell 156 is a 39% drop. There's 1,748 total graded. 779 of them are 9.8s. That's 45% of total graded.
It's kind of low for a new book. Kinda. I mean, for a new book, 50%. A lot of times they're like 80, 90 now.
Yeah.
Surprises there's no 9.8s.
Almost
9.9s.
100%. There might be. I don't think I saw a 9.9. I think about it. But anyways, I think this is a fantastic book. Great cover. Very iconic
Awesome cover. Awesome cover.
Iconic cover. I think it's going to be along with the greats of the modern side. Not like the crazy value, but like, for example, it's not going to be Ultimate Fallout. But for example, like an X-Men 4, it's going to be on that kind of level. It's going to be on the level of...
X-Men 4 is not even on the level anymore. It's like $1 in book now.
Oh, I still think people are after that. Dang it. Agents of Atlas, though that's dropped quite a bit. And then, of course, Young Avengers. I think it's going to be on that same level.
I could see it getting there. It should be. It should be. She's a good next-gen hero with a good story.
It may be on the low, but I don't think it's going to be on the low for very long. So pick it up when you can. Pick it up on the cheap.
And they're kind of representing Jack Kirby a little bit. The creator of Double Dinosaur, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Love Jack Kirby.
All right, guys. Number 1 on the list. And this was a surprise. This is the Cinderella story, I suppose, of losers, I guess. Is that a thing? Like the opposite? Number 1 on the list, Spider-Man Noir. Number 1, 2009. You got Patch, Zurich, and David Hine. This was one time a very, very expensive book. I've wanted this for a long time and never went out to get it because it was just out of my price range. It just seemed too much money for this new of a book. But first appearance of Spider-Man Noir, who is an alternate version of Spider-Man who takes place during the Great Depression. And there's also another first appearance of the book. There's Vulture Noir. I guess everyone just add Noir and then to their name if they're from the story. But a lot of people maybe didn't know about this book when it was coming out in 2009. I didn't know that much about it. Obviously, he is a character that shows up in the Spider-Verse comic book done by Dan Slott, which came out where a lot of new characters were introduced. He didn't actually play that big of a role. I read that whole series. He's there. He's kind of like in the background, does some stuff. Just nothing too crazy. Like probably about the same as Spider-Punk. They're just kind of there hanging out. They have a few lines. They kick a few butts. They run from a few inheritors. That's how it goes. But everybody fell in love with this character when Edge of Spider-Verse, the cartoon, came out. And we got the awesome portrayal of him, voiced by Nicolas Cage. It was done awesome. The way he was drawn was really cool. Just perfect. Obviously, it made his book like skyrocket to the moon. And when Across the Spider-Verse came out, everyone was expecting to see this character again, and we did not get him at all, unfortunately. And I did some research. There's really no reason why. I mean, even Nicolas Cage said he did an interview with Screen Rant where he was like, if they ask me, I'll do it. Just nobody asked me to be in the movie. Like, do the voice it again. So I know he's a little like eccentric, and I don't know if he's like hard to work with, but he's a lover of comics, you know, and so clearly he wants to do it. And they didn't use him. I doubt we're going to see him in Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third one. I hope that they do. Please, if anybody in Sony's watching this, bring him back. We love him. But last year is the main reason we got this came back up on the trending list because, and this might be the reason why they didn't use him. This might be the breaking news. I'm sure this is already news somewhere. But in February of 2023, Amazon, you know, that shipping company that you buy stuff at, they announced they're going to be doing a live action Spider-Man Noir TV show. It's going to be on Amazon Prime, which they might have put the kibosh on that. We're like, we're using the character for this. I mean, obviously it's going to be done through Sony, you know, it's through Sony, but it comes out on Amazon. So maybe they're like, we don't want to use this character. It could be good. I personally really like period piece stuff. I mean, this could be like Peaky Blinders of Spider-Man, right? Mm-hmm. Like kind of a cool version of that. It could be cool. I'll tell you this from me reading Spider-Man Noir. The comic book version of him is not as cool as the one that's in the cartoon. For me, when they do these alternate versions of Spider-Man and like everyone has like his name is Peter Parker, he has an Uncle Ben, he got killed, he has great power and great responsibility, he gets bit by a spider. Like we've heard this story a bunch of times. All his villains are like the Great Depression versions of his villains. Like, you know, there's an old school Vulture, old school Green Goblin. He does shoot organic webs. He doesn't actually make his own web fluid. But I found him to be a little bit weaker, too, than regular Spider-Man. Like, he can get beat up a little easier than the regular folks. And he has guns and stuff. So it's just, to me, I like things a little more original than that. It's just like, I feel like it's like reading Spider-Punk or Spider-Man India. They're like the same, but not the same, you know? Doesn't really feel like anything new. But maybe that's just me. I still like the character, just don't. You know, I prefer my OG Peter. Don't need no new G Peter. New G Peter, right? Anyway, there's also a Bolo report on this one as well, guys. Newsstand edition, right, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
Keep your eyes out.
Yeah.
I've never seen one before. They're worth a ridiculous amount of money. And there's a Dennis Calero variant cover for this, which for the life of me, I think looks cool, but is worth like not nothing, but kind of close to nothing compared to the regular one. And I don't know why. Like it's not like a bad cover. No. It kind of looks like the other cover, but similar. And it's a first print. Just nobody cares about that book. Maybe you can get it for cheap.
Really cheap.
Maybe. Let him know, Zach. Can you?
He was stocking the shelves a year ago, in a good way. For CGC 9.0, you could get for $600. That's a lot of dinero. Now, he just walk around in the light and just like, whatever, like doing anything with his life. $319. $319 to $600 is the range. Average sells $476 to 47% drop. There's 1,103 total graded. 616 of them are 9.8s. That's 56%.
Might be why it's dropped.
Might be why it's dropped.
Supply and demand.
You want 25 or under of total graded. That's what you want. That's what we need. Anyways, so if you're going to get this book, ideally you'd want to get the signature of one of the creators. You know, the writer or the artist or maybe a couple other people.
Or Nicolas Cage.
Or Nicolas Cage.
That'd be dope. I'd rather get Nicolas Cage.
I did meet the guy that created Spider-Man Noir. And I was like, man, you must be pretty famous. But he was like in a weird part of the artist alley and everything. And like no one was going up. I was like the only person to go up and talk to him in like 20 minutes. I'm like, what's going on? You should be like rolling in the dough right now. Why did they put you in a weird spot here? It's like, well, because I didn't actually make Spider-Man, I don't really own Spider-Man Noir. It's like, oh, that's messed up. It's like, the other thing I brought up to him is like, why aren't you doing Spider-Man Noir sketches? I'm sure there's a lot of people who want them. It's like, oh yeah. It's like, stupid. Anyways, you get a market, guys. Anyways, great book. Pretty decent price to get it at. I could see it dropping a little bit lower. So ideally what you'd want to do is find a high-grade copy, which is going to be easy because the chances of you get a 9.8 in this book is actually surprisingly high because it's all black cover. So get it signed, maybe even get it remarked. Not by Nicolas Cage. It's signed by Nicolas Cage. I get a remark
Superman on it. He's like, yeah, Superman.
Why? No! Yeah, that's what I would want to see this book to have because make it very unique and make it a lot more desirable, and that's how you get those gains.
Exactly. And, I mean, if you want anyone to do a superhero TV show for you, Amazon's where you go. They're killing it. Like, I don't think they have a bad superhero TV show. The Boys, Invincible... Everything good's coming out of there, so they could knock this out of the park. I just think, for some reason, period piece TV shows a lot of times do really well. Like, they just, for me, I like the way that feels. Like, you're in an older world, and it's cool. Anyway, big bad talk. Big bad time. We'd love for you guys to poll this as well, so leave a comment down below and vote on who you think the next big bad should be. And we'll talk about it on Wednesday. We'll actually, on the Wednesday live show, we'll check out, I'll write down all your guys' answers and we'll see who you guys think is the next big bad. And here's just some examples out there. We got, obviously, Kang the Conqueror. he is technically the big bad right now, but will they keep him? You know, like Disney Plus hasn't announced that they're canceling any of those movies that they already announced, but they've obviously been known to change titles before. Like, how many times did Agatha change? 3 times? 4 times? They've already changed Captain America twice as well. Mm-hmm. So they could easily change those movies. They could easily recast Kang. Another variant could, like, show up and be like, this is who he is. You know, now he looks like this guy. Because, I mean, obviously, there's tons of different people. I mean, Loki looks like 20 different people. So it'd be easy to do that. I feel like that's the obvious route to go. The other thing is we got Doctor Doom. Everyone wants to see Doctor... Do you want to see Doctor Doom before you see Fantastic Four? Do you? You want him first?
Yeah, I want him first.
You want him first. You got Magneto.
I was thinking that.
I wouldn't mind seeing Magneto before the X-Men as well. Like, get him early. Get him in there. Yeah, because Magneto is a great villain. You can sympathize with what he does and why he does things, you know. I think once he shows up, we're all gonna love Magneto. We love the original Magneto too. So both the other Magnetos we saw were awesome. You got Annihilus, which I think we will see really quick. It'd be cool if they bring him in and then bring him back later for like a Annihilus quest. Mm-hmm. Galactus, right? Galactus would be a really good one as well. Yes. Norman Osborn.
Oh yeah.
We got to see him from the alternate universe, but I'd love to see a more like Avengers villain, Norman Osborn. You know, They could do Dark Avengers. He could take over the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That'd be cool.
Kingpin would be a good one as well. I think we're going to see Kingpin in some form as a big bad. Either like they go like that street level, maybe he'll be the big bad of the TV shows.
Yeah.
Pretty much, did you see like they pretty much announced all of the actors from Daredevil are coming back. Karen Page, Foggy Nelson, they're bringing all of them back.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they're bringing back everybody from the show. They're basically like, season 4, here you go, people. We're not going to screw this up. And last but not least, Mephisto. Could he hold down as a main bad?
He could.
You think so?
He could. I mean, they already brought in briefly Dormammu.
Yeah.
is kind of interesting.
He should have been a bigger bad.
Yeah, he should have been a bigger bad, but he was like maybe even too powerful, but Mephisto's on the same level as that,
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, I do think it would be in their best interest. Maybe not this phase. It'd be cool if it was this phase. Maybe the next phase, they bring in more of the celestial, powerful beings. Not a celestial, which that might be cool.
The in-betweener?
Exactly. The in-betweener, the beyonder.
Ooh.
You know, Eternity would be too overpowered. He's just kind of cool to see from the background. It's like, always hovering, you know.
The Stranger?
The Stranger would be a good one.
Give yourself the strength? No, that's kind of Stranger.
Also, we need to see a little more of the Tribunal, but that's as of not a villain, because he just snapped his fingers and everything be gone. But yeah, some celestial level being needs to be like another big bad. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Maybe it's too overpowered. Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, we'd love to hear what you guys say. Well, we're pulling this, so leave a special comment down below. Just you can put down the name, or you go off script. You don't have to use one of the ones I use. If you like a different villain better, maybe you think Sabretooth could be the next big bad, right? Maybe Deadpool could be the next big bad. I don't know. Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe.
That would be kind of cool.
Kill everybody. We'll start over from scratch.
Just like a one-off. I got a feeling that Deadpool Wolverine is going to be kind of like that. He's just going to kill a lot of Sony characters.
Yeah.
Maybe some regular Marvel characters.
Don't kill Elektra.
No.
But, I hope they bring back Elektra from the Daredevil show. Oh, the one they used in there was really cool.
Yeah, the TV show.
The TV show. As much as I like Jennifer Gardner, I don't need to see her as Elektra.
No.
Which we probably will. She got cast in Deadpool. Anyway, we're going crazy. They were making this video way long. All right, guys. As usual, to all the YouTube stuff, subscribe, leave a comment. We're gonna go over who the next big bad should be. We'll give you guys those numbers on the live show. It'll be exciting. And Zach, you got anything extra?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you have to think through your comic knowledge in the last second because your brain's not working very, very well. And you go back to the Avengers, and you suddenly are one of the new Avengers, and you've always been there since the beginning, kind of like that Deadpool Secret Wars thing. That's how you get those gains.
You could be Rick Jones.
Rick Jones!
Some reason is always on the Avengers and does nothing.
Does nothing.
Not
the laziest Avenger.
Gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, a teenager for like 30 years.
Get out of here, Rick Jones. Tiny crap.
Until we see you all next time.
Rick Jones!
Get those Rick Jones games.
Get some Rick Jones.
Every single one.